So tonight on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, there is a video that we're going to review. This is coming out of South Carolina. They had talked to black voters in South Carolina, old Jim Crow Clyburn, his particular stomping ground. And when I saw this video, I said, Lord, I got to let the people know on the podcast of this video. Oh, I have a lot to say. I have a lot to say in this one. But we're going to go on and listen to what these people say, and then we'll just, do our thing and just give some commentary to it. So let's go to it.
I think that's about it. I can't tell anybody who to vote for, but I can tell you who I can vote for, and I'm going to vote for Biden. We need to remember that, the same way we got him in there before, we have to do the same thing by voting. And we just have to instill in the younger people that they need to come on out to the polls and vote. They need to help people out if it's older, elderly people.
Sir, vote for what? What are we voting for? Like, why are you performing at voting? This is so freaking annoying. I mean, seriously, like, you just go do it to be doing it at this point. You don't care what these people do. You do it to be doing it. It's a habit for you every 2 years. I really believe that. You don't expect nothing. You don't want nothing. And us crazy younger folk who is just, we so crazy to think that our politicians should be earning our vote and doing something for our vote just like they do for every other constituent, right? But he also said that we need to go out, get the old people, and take them to go vote. They never can say, what are we voting for? What? I mean, I'm so sick and tired of people in our community like this. It's like, listen, we have advanced in technology. We have advanced in knowledge. And people in our community are literally stuck. Like, they don't have no way to research anything. I know I'm not the only one feeling this way. I'm going to vote Biden. I can't tell nobody else who to vote for, but I'm voting for Biden. That's why Black America stay losing, folks. That's why. People like him. Oh, but we ain't done. Let's continue.
Just about the results. It also is a mark of integrity that our top leader of our country has to show. And all of that matters. All of that matters. And so certainly Biden has proven himself in the last few years, and I'll be voting for him in the next election.
Ma'am, what integrity does Biden have? It just came out like a day or so ago that Biden had received payments from a corporation in Ukraine in the payment of $5 million. And when the moment that dropped, that's when they immediately indicted Trump on the federal level. I mean, they are doing a lot of dirt right now. I mean, that's a whole different podcast in itself, all the situation with Trump. But this, with integrity, why are you taking money from Ukraine? All this money going on in Ukraine and nobody knowing what's going on with it. Well, like, whose bank accounts is it really going into? Because it sounds like some straight money laundering in a lot of ways, right? But ma'am, like what did Biden do for black people? See, and this is the people that go and vote for Clyburn every time. Oh, Clyburn is doing a lot of great things in South Carolina. And South Carolina is one of the poorest places for black people in the nation. How do you have that man represent you all those years? Oh, I forgot. He gives you a fish fry. And that's all you need. A good fish fry every year. Some old greasy, artery clogging fish fry that he's giving you. Some old diabetes water, a.k.a. soft drinks, your Cokes, your Sprites, diabetes water. And he give you that and you're good for another year and you're going to come out and vote for him. What was I thinking to say that you should be asking for something, or you're looking at what Clyburn has done for the community? But let's continue.
Of Biden against whoever emerges from the other side, and everything is so extreme on the other side that, I can't see many options besides Biden at this point.
Here we go with that lesser to evil crap. That's what that is, what he just said. Like I said before, so if you have a choice between the murderer and the pedophile, you choose the pedophile. Instead of saying, I don't like him either, I'll sit it out. Because he's not what my cup of tea is. You see, once again, the older generation isn't the only ones that stuck on this. Because we always talk about the civil rights generation and what they do with their voting. And yes, they are a bigger block of voters. They are. But we're looking at two people who are considered younger than them and thinking the same way. So we can't just dump it all on the civil rights generation because that's not fair. We're seeing that this lesser two evil crap, this I'm voting for Biden and don't care, don't even ask if he did anything for you. I mean, this community, like I said, other groups are coming in this country and they're hitting the ground running with assistance of our government. They're hitting the ground running. And I'm telling you, these new immigrants that came in 2023, in 5 years, they're going to be past all you. Why? Because they'll play the game. There'll be a Democrat one day to get all the set aside for immigrants. And then the next minute, they talking about Republican. They want to save money on their taxes. And they don't want the immigrants coming in either. Them same people that came that way wouldn't want no more coming that way. And then you be looking at these immigrants that got in here and they got past us. Well, these immigrants that's coming in, playing the game and doing what they got to do while you still up here talking about the lesser of two evils and I'm voting for Biden. And if any black person in our community tell you behind, hey, let's, sit it out. Or if you don't you can't sit it out, do a protest vote. No, you're so emotionally tied to the Democrats. But as my great brother, Dynas Tamir said, voting Democrat is a part of the culture. If you don't vote Democrat, you're not black. See, Biden knew what he was saying when he said that. If you don't vote for me, you're not black. Because the Democrats know you. And they know your mindset. You'll turn against your family if they don't vote Democrat. But your family could be straight degenerates. They could be Pookie and Ray Ray. They could be 304s. They could be doing drugs. They could do whatever, stealing from the family. And you will be given so much patience. But let them say they're not voting Democrat. Oh, hell no. That's it. You got to go. Man. And I told y'all, don't expect too much out the collective of the community. I said, this thing is a marathon, not a sprint.
Over the long memory of watching these institutions operate, that we are at a point that isn't like anything that I've watched up until now. And so as this next election gears up, given what we got through the last time, I'm real nervous. Like, and the nerves, the anxiety, it's building all the time.
Like to be in office is not going to be in office, so I'm just going to have to pick the lesser evil. And as of right now, that does seem like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Jesus Christ. And they purposely talk to people from different age brackets. So you can't just say, and this is good they did this. So you can't just say it's a civil rights generation. This is all over the black community. That was a college student that just played the lesser two evils. She chose the pedophile and not the murderer. Lord. And you see why people eventually get to a point, they throw their hands up and they say, look, man, I don't even want to be bothered with it. I'm just going to just do something else, or I'm going to do what I got to do, or whatever the case may be. Because doing this kind of content and you literally watching the community go down because of, I told y'all, we participate in our own oppression. I've said that many times before. And you see how we participate. We can't just say white supremacy all the time. We got to talk about how we participate in our own oppression. We facilitate it. And one way we keep facilitating it, it's just going out there and just doing this lesser to evil crap, performative voting. But then at the same time, if something happened, then these same people want to get out there and protest and talk about, oh, look what the police did. Look what they did. Look at these racists and all that. Like, bro, you had a chance to even do something about it. You didn't want to get on code with black people. You want to be on code with the Democrats, man. I mean, wow, man. This don't sometimes you feel like, why me? Why I gotta be a part of a group of people that's just so, like, I'll tell you, that's Stockholm syndrome, y'all. That's Stockholm syndrome. It's real. It is real. Loving your master in captivity.
I'm actually disappointed in Joe for a multitude of reasons. Simply because I thought he was going to do more beyond just the promises he made. And when they do, quote unquote, listen to the people, they backtrack everything once they get into that position of power. And I feel like Joe is just going to do that. He's going to backtrack, just like other presidents have backtracked. And so, honestly, I feel like right now America is in a state of emergency. We need some real change. And sadly, I would throw my hat in if I was old enough.
But if that's not who you want, whose name do you throw in the ring? Who got next?
Now, that young sister right there, she spoke with a lot of common sense. Out of all the people so far, that sister did. She realized Joe Biden and the Democrats haven't done nothing for black people. They played the 3-card Monty. But she just didn't say he does for everybody else except us. I wish she would have added that, right? But she said, hell, if I was old enough, I would throw my name in there, right? And I think they should change the age limit on I think presidents, you got to be 35 years old. I think they should lower that. It shouldn't be 35 years old. Maybe I say what I know about just maturity of people. I say today, I say lower it to 30. That's what I would say. 30 years old, I think is a good age. But anyway, that little young sister, she gets it. She gets it. She's not all the way there she needs to be, but she gets it. The Democrats ain't doing crap for black people. Let's continue.
She can say it 1,000 times, but because we're not connected to that politician, we're not going to necessarily care. But I bet you if Drake, Nicki Minaj, Sean King, just any celebrity that's out there with a voice says it, then we're going to be okay, I get what she's coming from. So I feel like you just need somebody that's just relatable, somebody that's real, somebody that's...
Stacey Abrams would be a very good candidate, or Gavin Newsom. I think that they are able to tap into young voters, and they have a lot of innovative ideas.
Obviously, the best thing is when you have someone that has a good command of policy, but is also very charismatic, quick on their feet. You know, obviously, Barack Obama was real good about that. Reagan certainly had his moments for his thing. That's why his legacy and persists in Republican circles.
I would think that the question is, I'm going to vote Democratic. I am. But I wish that there was another Republican option, honestly.
And why is that?
Well, because I'm not strictly Democratic.
So you mentioned what? 2-time loser, Stacey Abrams, Gavin Newsom. Yeah, look at how California has been ran into the ground underneath his leadership. He played games with black people with the California Reparations Commission. When the commission recommended cash payments for reparations, first thing he came out and said, oh, no, reparations more than just cash payments now. And then all them recommendations, we already doing them anyway. And then when people got up on his bumper about it, like, well, I'm just saying, let me see the proposal. And, he's just playing games, too. So Gavin Newsom, no. That's Nancy Pelosi's kinfolk anyway. So hell no. That's number one. The other guy toward the end say, oh, I'm going to vote Democratic. Why? If you don't have anybody, why? I mean, like y'all don't realize that the black American community is literally, and I didn't think I would be saying these words. The black American community is on life support right now. Life support. Just how we move politically, how we're so stuck in like just certain trains of thought. We're not moving with technology. We're not moving with the times. We're, so we prioritize degenerates and reprobates. As the other young brother was talking about, oh, well, a celebrity says it, then we'll listen. Why you need to listen to a musician or some freaking entertainer who are paid by the Democrats to tell you to vote for certain people. So all the Democrats got to do is pay Nicki Minaj to tell you to vote Democrat? If that's what the Democrats have to do for you to listen? No other community does that but you. Do you realize that? They don't go to white celebrities to talk to white people about politics. They don't go to Hispanics. They don't go to Asians. They don't go to none of those people. Because other groups of people look at entertainers in the lane they're in. Entertainers. That's all they do is entertain. When I want to listen to music, when I want to hear a comedian, when I want to whatever dance or whatever, then I go look for the entertainers to get to help facilitate those things. But in this community, you give, like people used to call a long time ago, court jesters. That's what they are. You give a court jester to say, go talk to the people to tell them to vote for this one. You're the only community that does that. Nobody else. I don't care what Drake has to say about politics. Drake don't even talk about politics. So why you need to listen to him tell you? And Drake is a freaking Canadian. So why would he even be getting involved in American politics unless he paid to? But let me tell you something, Black America. I'm going to tell you something. You see what's happening in Chicago right now? Why is that happening in Chicago? Because black folks voted for that. So now they're complaining about $51 million being taken away and applied to the people that have the agenda for immigrants. The Democrat Party has never been quiet about their agendas. They have been very loud about their agenda. So you can't say they tricked you, because they've been very open about immigration, been very open about LGBT. They've been very open about helping everybody else but you. This is not in, and you still go vote for them anyway. And then you want to cry when you get what you're voting for. You understand? You keep going out there just blindly voting Democrat. I don't want to hear it when you crying that everybody's pushing you out your neighborhood. I don't want to hear you crying about gentrification in these Democrat cities. I don't want to hear it, because only thing I'm going to keep saying is you got what you voted for. How many times your hard-headed behind been told, don't go vote for them people? Sit it out. Let them feel our absence in an election cycle. Or if you just got to perform a vote because you're so addicted to voting, you literally like a drug addict. You just got to get your fix. Go vote for the other side then. Vote for a third party. Vote for whoever. Just don't give the vote to Democrat. If you're so addicted to voting, okay? You don't even want to do that. Oh, no. If we don't vote, Phil, then we don't have a seat at the table. You don't have a seat at the table now, and you've been voting. And the little seats at the table you have is corrupted. They're corrupt. The majority of your black politicians are all corrupt. They're all taking money underneath the table to sell you down the river. And they don't mind, because all you're going to do is vote Democrat. So that they don't really feel bad about taking money. Just like I heard today, this man worked for Coca-Cola said that how they would give millions of dollars to the NAACP and other civil rights organizations to brand something the government is doing as racist, even though they wouldn't even come out saying something was racist, just so they can get their agenda met. You know, civil rights organizations are selling us out, but y'all don't even care about that. Let me tell you something, black folk. You vote in Democrats and get another 4 years of that. You got what's coming to you. And I personally won't feel bad for you. I won't. I'm just going to be like, I told you so. I told you. Don't cry now. Go ahead on it and let everybody just, hey, the immigrants coming. And go ahead and make room for them. Because that's what you voted for. Now, you'll be smart to say, you know what? I don't like the Republicans, but on certain issues, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Even in Chicago, the only people that's speaking up with the black community right now is the Chicago Republicans. They the only people. They say, well, they don't care about black people. It don't matter about them caring about black people. Who cares if somebody care about black people? That's your problem. You need to care about black people. The community need to care about black people. Who cares if somebody cares about black people? Y'all, the problem is a lot of y'all don't understand, even in business. In business, you don't like everybody you're dealing with. You don't have to. But you're dealing with somebody because you're trying to get a certain thing accomplished. They're dealing with you because they're trying to get a certain thing accomplished. You love and like your family. You love and like your community. You don't worry about people like that. If somebody is maybe I don't even agree with at all, but are we on the same side on one issue? I can get with you on that one issue alone. After that, I walk away from you because we both get what we want at the same time. And to the black people who are taking a stand like that and who understand the enemy of my enemy is my friend, kudos to those black people because you're not being emotional. You're being strategic at that point. See, if the black community was more strategic, we wouldn't be in this position. We will move certain ways. We'll be more calculated in certain ways. And the issue that you're having with the Democrat Party importing people in, you can't give them the slavery story. You can't give them the Jim Crow story. They're gonna say, I had nothing to do with it. I don't know about it. I'm far removed from it. I'm not even here to be dealing with y'all. I'm here to get a bag. And that's it. And you are in my way of getting a bag, and I'm trying to get over on you too. That's how that mindset come in. But you steady want to go vote for the Democrat Party who wants to screw you over. And they openly doing it. They're not like doing it in a sneaky way. You don't really see it coming or you find out later they screwed you over. No, they're doing it openly. More and more black Americans are homeless. Black Americans are leading homelessness in this country. And the Democrat Party don't do anything. Like we talked about it before. Was it 54? I think 54% of New York's homeless. I think 54, 56%. New York's homeless population is black New Yorkers. 76% of the homeless population in Chicago is black Chicago residents. Black people are in a state of emergency. I told you, you're going to end up relegated to staying 8 and 10 to a household because that's the only way you'll be able to afford it because you couldn't stay anywhere on your own because you don't have no opportunity anymore. Like I said, it's going to get that bad for y'all, for you to realize, you know what, maybe what all these brothers and sisters been saying for a couple of election cycles was right. Look at how we are now. You're not serious about getting reparations because if you're serious about reparations, you'll really push no reparations, no vote. And you would not vote for anybody. You won't vote for the Republican or the Democrat. You say no reparations, no vote. And all you have to do is really push that I think maybe 2 good election cycles, maybe 3. But definitely one good one, and they show that we mean business and say, hey, you got reparations on the table? No, or I'm not voting. And if we would actually follow that, but we can't because we have some hard-headed, disobedient people, and there's no consequence that the community can't act against anybody either. So they just do whatever they want to do. Then you got people, but it's kind of hard at the same time because you got so many people coming at you. You got some people talking about vote down ballot Democrat and you got others, saying that we built the party, we can't just abandon it. And even though you didn't build crap, you didn't build the Dixiecrats. You did not. You showed the vote for them, but what have you been building with them? Nothing. But for me, like I said, I just watch y'all, and like I said, I don't hold my breath on the majority with the majority in the community. That's why I move how I move, and my plans are what they are, and they're going to move accordingly. Because I do not want my children to be in a position where they can only depend on the graces of the Democrats. No. And when I see the Democrats are hostile against black people. Now, some of you want that for your life. That's fine. If you want to toil and vote for the Democrats and you go into wherever you go to in America, fine, do that. No problem. I hope it works out well for you. But for the ones who actually looking at things and being more forward thinking and who's being more forward thinking and you say, man, this stuff ain't right. I gotta figure something out. Get yourself together in America, build yourself up in America, get you a good sized war chest. If you got an established business here in America and you're doing great with that established business in America or service you're doing in America, start expanding that service and business overseas, whatever country you like to expand that to, and put that business there as well. And you have a base in that other country. That's the best way to spread yourself because at least you're making relationships. When you're putting businesses in other countries, a lot of times it's easier for you to get residency and citizenship in other countries. Don't be listen. I'm gonna tell a lot of black people this: you better always have some options. Because if you sit up here and let this community tell you and shame you about options, they're not going to be there for you. Let me give you an example. Because they so hunkered down in this place, if the power grid went down for 30 days, and they have, of course, emergency power, and all emergency power is always going to be at the airports and any kind of places like that, government buildings, whatever. The people who are prepared can say, you know what, I'm not dealing with this chaos. I'm going to get my family and I'm bouncing, because you may want to deal with some things, but like me and my wife were discussing, I say, what about our children? It's easy to talk when nothing's going on, but you're not really prepared for nothing. You're not prepared. You let people tell you just to hunker down here, hunker down. And them people that's telling you to hunker down here, when something go down, they're not going to help you. They set up to leave too. Hey, my kids, I can't, I got to go somewhere. My kids got to have some lights. My kids got to have, anything could happen. Look at what happened with Katrina. You saw in the conditions black people were in. Nobody was helping them. We need to start thinking for ourselves and prepare, because everybody talking about America going down, America this, America that. Okay, if you know that, why don't you prepare yourself then? I ain't doing this. Listen, that's fine. And you can stay and suffer. That's no problem with me if you want to suffer. I'm talking about the black people who say, I got kids, I got family, I got this. I want to make sure I'm always in a position where if I need to move around, I can. I got the option. I'm going to sit with them same people that talking about you ain't going nowhere, you ain't doing nothing. It'd be the same one begging the State Department for an emergency passport and they couldn't get one. That's the same people. They wait till the last freaking minute when something go down, or they wait for the situation is so dire that now they want to do something, or they calling you or emailing you. Hey man, well, you were talking about this a few years ago. Now it's happening and I don't know what to do. Because these Democrats, they doing the slow bleed to you. And eventually you're going to bleed out. But always be in a position where if something was to go down, you good. Do not let no black person in this community talk you out of preparation for whatever you want to prepare for. Because none of these people is going to be there for you. Look at their mindset. They lay everything at the feet of the Democrats. Like that they God or something. And what the Lord says to a lot of y'all is, if the Democrats is your God, I'll let you have it. You have created an idol of a white liberal. You have, black folk. You have. That's your idol, a white liberal. He gonna solve all my problems. If I just go out there and vote, he gonna solve my problems. You depend on a white liberal way more you depend on God himself and even yourself personally or your community. That's why when I say certain things, where everybody can't do this, or everybody can't do that. Well, you don't know. It's not that what you can't do. It's something you don't want to do. Because you want to depend on the white man to give you everything instead of you doing it for yourself. We talk about our ancestors this and our ancestors that. They built this, they built that. Yes, you're right. Our ancestors built a lot. They created a lot. They created their own jobs. They innovated. They didn't do all that stuff working for them folks. But for me, this video itself, I'm talking about the what we was going through, sad. It's extremely sad. And I always, my message is for those black people who are sick and tired. That's what my message is for. The black folks who are sick and tired. It's not for the black folks who are happy in misery, who are happy in oppression, who participate in their oppression. My message is not for you. I'm not even battling you. When you start telling me certain things, I'll even get you out the comment section too, because you just bring a certain energy. I don't even want around people who's saying, you know what? I've been thinking that he is right about some things. I need to start getting myself prepared. I got kids. I got family. I need to change some things up I'm doing. I don't want to be working for these people all my life. I need to do for myself and get on my own. Because y'all, we have to start removing these people out of our life. These people who don't want to do anything. these people who want to depend on the Democrats all their life, those people, we got to get them away from us, because we got to be the forward thinkers in the black community who are actually trying to save the black community. You won't save the black community depending on a Democrat. You won't. And that's why this community has went down, is because when you took it out of our own hands and gave it to the hands of a white liberal, that's why this community has never been the same since. And everything this white liberal has given you has been degenerate behavior. And unfortunately, you have taken on every degenerate behavior that they gave you. At one point in time, black people used to say, even certain crimes, black people say, oh, we know who did that one. Because certain crimes we wouldn't even do in the community. Now y'all doing everything they do. Certain behaviors we would say, oh, what they doing? Oh, black people don't do stuff like that. At one point in time, we used to say that and it was spot on. But look at today, y'all doing the exact same things. Everything they do. Everything. And which is sad. But y'all let me know what y'all think about, these voters here. And like I said, please prepare yourself. Please, because this community is going to go out and vote Democrat. It's going to happen. I'm telling you, they're going to go do it. They stuck on that. But for those of you who are sick and tired, I'm the man for you. I am the man that go keep preaching this message. And I'm trying to reach you. I'm not trying to reach these other people who are literally so politically remedial. It's mind boggling.